All right, so just a reminder that if you're here for Moore's class, there is a sign-in sheet. If you're here for Espinosa's class, there's also a sign-in sheet. And we also have some bookmarks. If you're not sure whether you should sign in at all, and you want proof that you were here, you can feel free to pick up one of these bookmarks. Even though they say a different event, they are for this event. So it's plain like mine here. I want to introduce our first poet, I guess, of the day. We have two poets here with us today, David Campos and Lorian Guerrero. And we're going to start off with David Campos. I have a quick little bio of David and his work and some of his accomplishments. David Campos lives with his wife in Fresno, California. Born in Ventura, California, his family moved around that coastal city for the first few years of his life before they settled in Fresno. He occupied many jobs while attending Fresno City College and California State University Fresno, where he earned a BA in English education and was the co-winner of the Andres Montoya Undergraduate Scholarship Award for Creative Writing. Concurrently, he was a member of the spoken word troupe, The Parking Lot Prophets, and he co-founded the literary radio show Pacatelas on KFCF 88.1 FM, Fresno. While attending UC Riverside for his MFA, his short screenplay, Names, was chosen to be the first production of the theater department. Also at UC Riverside, he helped kickstart the I Promise Joanna anti-bullying campaign alongside California Poet Laureate Juan Felipe Herrera in coordination with the Gluck Fellows Program of the Arts. His poems have appeared in the following magazines: the American Poetry Review, Boxcar Poetry Review, Huizache, the Packing House Review, Verdad, In the Grove, and Miramar, among others. Currently, he teaches English at Fresno City College and also here at College of the Sequoias. His book, Furious Dusk, is winner of the 2014 Andres Montoya Poetry Prize and is available for purchase over there. Let's give it up for David Campos.
Thank you all for coming. And thank you for inviting me. I learned how to become a man by killing my father. And not in the way you're thinking. I had this idea of my father as a superhero, a man who could fix anything and who would live forever. Reality, though, is different. He's old. He's old school. His ideas about being a man are different than what I expected them to be. And in this new culture I was growing up in, I was being pulled in two different directions. It wasn't until much later that I finally saw the wounded creature that he was. I had to destroy the idea of father as superhero and the measuring stick he held up to me. In this way, I killed my father, his ideas, and allowed him to exist in my consciousness as a human being. This created an opportunity to build a relationship that transcended that of father and son. And so, I'll read you these 4 poems that helped me get there. Hunting. We don our camouflage and walk quietly with rifles up a mountain trail deep into a thick forest. I carry the 30-30 my father used to kill his first deer, the same deer mounted in our living room. The huddle of shivering men whisper plans with twigs. We spread out in a line, push through the forest, creating flanks. My chance to join the club of men before me. A small 4-point buck, followed by a doe and a young deer. I try to control the small bounce in my breathing as I aim. Shoot it, my father whispers. I hesitate, knowing what killing means. Haven't seen it done before when an uncle shot a deer when it didn't buckle and die. We had to track it down. The buck settled underneath a pine and struggled to breathe. I remember its eyes, so dark and brown. My uncle, with his pistol, shot it in the head, then dragged the body to a nearby tree where we hung it and gutted it. Blood everywhere. The smell of shit. I stopped believing in God. I aim and fire. The family of deer disappears as the bullet ricochets off a granite boulder. The shot echoes off the mountains. Now there's this story I tell about these old planchas my dad used to have hanging from the back porch. One of these actually fell. I mean, they're like cast iron heavy, like 5-10 pounds of just solid cast iron hanging from above my head. And when I was young, one of these fell on my feet. And this is what happened. Cast iron. Again, the doctor removes the ingrown toenail. 8th grade. Dad gardens in the backyard, and the cast iron plancha falls from the bent nail onto my big toe. The doctor says I need wider shoes. Infection. The nail turned black. Blood wept from the cracks. Dad just watched. He said, "It's time for you to act like a man and stop your crying." I tell the doctor I want to see the procedure done. The clippers tearing through the nail, ripping it out from the flesh. The doctor pierces my foot with the needle. Even numb, I still hear you. The stones from the water. 1. I was spit out of a volcano, discarded like waste, broken over and over from mountain to boulder to rock to this stone you threw into the water in a tantrum. The sky accepted me like a monarch in migration. This water accepted me. The lava will take me back. Like I came into your palm, like I exited your grasp. 2. You complain as if you were the first granite boulder to be split open by a glacier. This crack of a cry of yours, these fragmentations from pebbles to sand, are nothing new. What do you know about being a father? I was once a mountain. 3. I disappear in the water's grasp. Ripples string across the skin before the placidness returns. You think by forgetting me you'll be able to move on? You think to forget is to forgive? Go ahead and pick up another stone and throw it. I'm still here. 4. You picked me up and threw me. As if this would help you erase those who you think did you wrong. I was once like you, molten rock, burning everything I touched. You are a fool. You don't even know what forgiveness is. 5. I accepted the speech. I accepted your hand. I accept this water. I accept my erosion. I accept the sand I will become. I will welcome the fire. And then finally, Dusk, after Larry Levis. And if you don't know who Larry Levis is, I'm sure there's a book in here with his name on it. My father beat a man's face to the color of dusk. Dark purples and reds being swept over Tilzapotla. The man, Claudio Ocampo, had just slammed my grandfather to the ground. A knee pressed against his spine over the cell of a cow that wasn't producing milk. I heard the cracks of his ribs as my father ran out of the house to knock Claudio off my grandfather, his fist unhinging this man's jaw. The splatter of blood spit out onto the cobblestone mixed with the dirt, a mirror of the sky. When it was over, my father and grandfather came in and we ate our pan dulce with hot chocolate on the second-story balcony, listening to the crumbs falling into our laps. On the plane back to the States, while his hands healed from the swelling, I asked about the fight. "I'm sorry you had to see that," he said. And that's all he ever said of it. I never understood this apology. Sometimes, while I play football at dusk, I stare through the cement and bricks, the exhaust of this city in summer, and realize I'm looking at blood again. A small flicker drying, mixed with dirt, and a warning. It used to make me think of love, looking at the sun dipping into the mountains. In Fresno, that light was furious. Now Fresno darkens as the wire from the street lamps is stolen. My father is dying. His hands have lifted so many cigarettes from pocket to mouth that his breath is disappearing like the light. When I visit, I hear his coughs wake him. They wake me. And we sit in the cold of the backyard looking up at the stars. And I remember my father telling a younger me that when we died, we went to heaven and became the stars we see at night. For years, I believed we would all become stars. Now, we don't talk about endings or stars or the way his fist undid a face. We just watch the sky as if it could bring back breath and love, the sparkling sugar at the bottom of a paper bag that once held warm pan dulce. We both light cigarettes and blow smoke as if we were cities and the streets were going dark as dusk gives way to night, as the sun shuffles from one lamp to another trying to stay warm and safe under their glow. But tonight, Father, it is dark here in Riverside, where the earth just rattled and the walls cracked like the bones that night you broke dusk out of a man's face. Yet here, when I think of you, I can almost believe that the street, as it rolls into the hills, leads to the stars. Thank you.
Let's give it up for David Campos again. Let's give it up to the music. What about the jazz band? Let's give it up for the band. I also want to say a special thank you to Terry for filming this and for bringing the mic. And it's a little bit quick and rushed, and we have regular classes and stuff, so I want to thank him for being so flexible. I also want to thank Milena Sayed for helping to organize this event and bringing it to the library and putting in a lot of background and doing a lot of the paperwork. And Very, very special thank you. She's been wanting to do this for quite a while, so yes, thank you very much. Up next, we have a little bit of an interlude. We're going to have the band play. Oh, is the band still? You guys down to play one song for us? An interlude? Nice. What do you guys feel like? Something upbeat? A little upbeat? Something upbeat, guys. Something to dance to. You guys got to dance. You guys ready? I'll dance. So we'll have a quick little interlude. We're going to have a song playing, and then we'll have our second poet up, Lorianne, and I'll be introducing her in a bit. So enjoy the music and feel free to dance. How often do you get to dance in the library, right?
Wow. Yes. Yeah, everybody's gonna look for that. Yeah. It's his phone. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like talking like this. Although. While the music's going on, I will introduce Lorianne. Feel free, guys, keep playing. Yeah. Yeah. So our next poet is Lorianne Guerrero, and this is her bio here. Lorianne Guerrero, San Antonio Poet Laureate Lorianne Guerrero was born and raised in the south side of San Antonio and received the Academy of American Poets Prize, among others, from Smith College. Winner of the 2012 Andres Montoya Poetry Prize, her first full-length collection, A Tongue in the Mouth of the Dying, was selected by Francisco X. Alarcón and released by University of Notre Dame Press in 2013. Guerrero's chapbook, Babies Under the Skin, from Panhandler Publishing 2007, won the Panhandler Chapbook Award, chosen by Naomi Shihab Nye. Her latest collection, A Crown for Gumecindo, will be released by Aslan Libre Press in the spring of 2015 and is actually already out and is available for purchase. Poets and Writers magazine named Guerrero one of the top 10 debut poets in 2014. A Tongue in the Mouth of the Dying was listed as one of 14 must-read works of Chicano literature by Rigoberto Gonzalez and received an International Latino Book Award. Other honors include grants from the Artist Foundation of San Antonio and the Alfredo Cisneros del Moral Foundation. In 2014, Guerrero was appointed by former Mayor Julian Castro Poet Laureate of the City of San Antonio, the 7th largest city in the nation. Guerrero's poetry and critical work have appeared in Huizache, Texas Monthly, Bellevue Review, Women's Studies Quarterly, Texas Observer, Chicana Latino Studies, Feminist Studies, and others. Guerrero holds a BA in English Language and Literature from Smith College and an MFA in Poetry from Drew University. Please help me welcome San Antonio's Poet Laureate, Lorianne Guerrero.
Hi, y'all. Thanks for coming. Thank you for everybody who organized this. It's really great. I've never read in this space like this before, but I think it's kind of badass. I think it's kind of, sorry, it's cool. I dig it. I'm going to read a little bit from my first book, A Tongue in the Mouth of the Dying, and this is actually how I know David Campos. I was the 2012 winner of this award, and he was the 2014. We became fast friends. Roosters. They're roosters, she corrects me. Chubby cocks hang above our heads from the ruffle of curtain in the room where her children eat. In her kitchen, next door to the house where I used to live, she laughs in two-step, pops a couple of Dos Equis con lima. I've missed you, neighbor, I say, peering through her window into the kitchen I used to cook in, next door, looking for the painting I left behind, the curtains I sewed, looking to see if I damaged the counter with an imprint of my ass, wondering if my DNA might show up if detectives ever needed samples. Is my hair wound tightly in the carpet? Skin flakes painted into the red door? Neighbor tells me the new woman next door has a baby that cries all night. And when the man struts home at 4 in the morning, he crows like a madman. Our beer is ceremony. We talk about Maria. Remember her? Her baby Louis? Her husband? Did you know she was pregnant when he killed her? That he killed the boy first in front of her? Our children rush through the kitchen, paletas in hand, to the backyard with the men who love us today. Passing the sal con limon, we pray for the woman next door, hoping blood is never shed in my old home like in Maria's 2 blocks down. Neighbor fluffs her curtains. Come back, she says. Come back, and when you do, I'll bring you caldo the way I did when you were expecting La Chiquita, before you moved to the snow, where roosters are thin and don't know how to dance. So one of the themes that runs through this first book is exploring domestic violence, different kinds of abuses, emotional, sexual. That's all. This one's called Stray Cat. She was fat, round as the moon. She didn't have time for hiding, for safety, for hissing away onlookers. Her legs jerked and outrolled the little slick and wormy bundles. Too. She circled them, inspected the mousy ears, licked the furless pink skin. They made no noise. Their tiny hearts rippled, though softly. She ate one. Then she ate the other. Put attention. Put attention, Grandma would say, as if attention were a packet of salt to be sprinkled, or a mound we could scoop out of a carton like ice cream. Put attention, put attention. Put it where? In her hands? In the percolator? On top of the television set that seeps fat red lips and Mexican mustaches? Next to the jade Buddha? Between La Virgen and Cousin Pablo's 6th grade class photo, marshmallowy teeth jumping out of his mouth? We never corrected her. Like the breast, Spanish lulled Grandma's tongue as we threw down shards of English, laughing for her to leap in and around. Put attention, put attention. Put it where? Shall I put attention in my glass and drink it soft like Montepulciano de Abruzzo, like Scheinerbach, horchata? Put attention. Ponga atención, she tried to say in our language. Put attention somewhere large, back into her eyes, into the part of her brain that doesn't remember her own daughters, how to make rice, translate instructions. This will be the last one from this book. It's called Wooden Box. This one's about my grandfather, and he inspired a lot of my work and my desire to work, to write. And he raised me. He helped raise me, and I took care of him the last 5 years of his life. I'll talk about more of that in a minute. This one's called Wooden Box. Wooden Box. He demands this, nothing else. No mahogany slick or roses kissed by lilies, no music or speech, weeping limited. We are to file down the aisle, nod head to his dead body, return home to care for things still living. We are not to sob for the child hymn, the bed an alphabetless picker of cotton, potatoes, tomatoes, follower of crops. We are not to sob for the cactus man, vaquero, lover hymn. Grandpa who takes his milk from the moon, who knows the time for cookie, the time for wine, no. When he is gone, he will be gone. I can make the box myself, he says. I can make it myself. I wanted to end on that one because my grandfather passed away in July of 2013, just shortly after this book came out, and he was the love of my life. And I started writing poems for him and turned it into this book. And this book is a heroic crown of sonnets, 15 poems, and I collaborated with a visual artist, also a novelist, Maceo Montoya, who's in Woodland, who teaches at UC Davis. So there's 15 paintings for the 15 sonnets. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but they're disrupted also with meditations. So while I was writing the poems, I was also keeping a journal. And so when it came time to put the book together, I started pulling sections from my journal to insert into the actual sonnets. I'm going to read a little bit of the meditations and a little bit of the sonnets. This is a meditation. I tried not to care anymore what your hammer built, what your truck carried, what you could see when you could see. The oil lamps stopped lighting the faces of the living, This is not living, you said. We were losing. We were too much for each other. I was no good for you, and you were no good. They drew lines between us because you were forgetting, and I wrote things down, and this was no longer helpful. We were too much. We were too much for those who loved us. Didn't you know it'd be easier if you just got better? I wanted to take the shears to you, cut out the softened brain, the evaporating bone, do to you what I do to the poem. I'm just going to mention quickly that I started writing these sonnets when I first visited El Paso right after my grandfather died. And there was something about being in the space of El Paso and Juarez and this feeling of grief. The first one is called Where the Dead Come to Speak. El Paso. And maybe there was a Larian who left behind 3 children, a sink full of dishes, a man who kissed her as if the whole world lived in her mouth. And maybe, too, her heart was carved out from underneath the cradle of her rib. The Ocotillo motions with its strange arms. Death goes on. I conjure you in boot soles and sand, ice and hummingbird, border walker and little girl. Have you found my likeness on the other side as I search for you here? I thought you'd be alone. You are not alone. Hadn't they their own fathers to heed, saying, as mine has said, don't be alone, don't cross the line. For 2, love is our mother. You said, don't be alone, don't cross the line, girl. The potential in my hands to raise hell, you knew before I did. We were never good, but to each other. The brain creates its devil. In this dream, he makes me choose which one of us will die by the hand of the other, which of us will carry the dead home. You kill the boy, or the boy kills you, he says. In this dream, my steady hands are not my own. Your hands load the gun. You know I cannot let him live. His bones cannot hold the weight of me. With my eyes, I see your hands. My eyes see the boy I birthed, my jaw that quivers. You wake me before you pull the trigger. Here's another meditation. Are you sure? Are you sure? I want to know how you know if a person is dead. I held your hand, watched you take what I thought was your last breath, but what do I know? I've never seen a person die before, and what if I was wrong? You'll say, and maybe if we pull you up, you're going to be pissed. What's wrong with you? You'll say to me like you do. What's wrong with you putting me down there like that? You could have killed me. The obituary makes me nervous. What if I was wrong? What if I was wrong when I said he's not breathing anymore? Maybe you were waiting. Maybe you were gathering your strength to say something, but they took you away, made me let go of your hand, and now you're in the paper, and I fooled everyone into thinking you're dead. Praise song for the goat at the grave. You woke me before you pulled the trigger tempting songs from your guitar. Late night. After Cabrito plucked from its mother's body in praise of September rain, we ate. Praise September, praise rain, though I can still taste merciless July. At your grave, I nestle hard candies in wet earth as to return diamonds, as to sow seeds. I want your tongue to wind its way through the hinged lip of casket, black rock, pull them down to your softened teeth. Who knows what you're capable of now? What grows now that your heart has fed the dirt? But only goats are here, bleeding songs I do not know. Only the goats are here to say hello. This is number 7, newborns. Let's look at our reflection in the mud, see how in 4 months each of us has changed. What is your name without a body? My name without you here. I am you, what I never was. Suddenly I carry my newborn grief like a new mother. I nurse and swaddle my most fragile, my newest, my sweet. What festers in the bellies of strangers does not concern me. There is only this. I am the only mother. Mine is the only child. I decompose alongside you. wanting and not wanting everyone to see me off-balanced and leaking my skin in strands, the oddity that was put in my hands. Dia de los Muertos. The oddity that was put in my hands, your truck. It used to be I drove this road each week to pick you up. Now I drive this road each week to lay you down again. Today is the day of the dead. When did you die? Today I bring you chicharrón con huevo, chile, which is to say, I brought breakfast to the goats. I want to slip my hand into the photo of you, fix your hair as I did, help you with your sweater, guide heavy salt to your plate. Grass is starting to grow over you. Shards of rock gone smooth. I sing to bees. I lay my ear to stone. It doesn't hurt. I hear your song, water rising from dirt. Number 10, stone fruit. Good, I would ask. Good enough, you'd say, of the wine we made from plums. Didn't we for years tend the mother tree? Didn't we for years prune, pluck, hold in our hands the purpled bodies bursting that begged, me next, have me? Weren't we so nourished in the nerve? Someone is buying our tree. You are reduced to pit. I put seed in dirt, wait for you to come back to me in a jar by the window. You are not growing. Aren't you a plum? Little red, little kidney, little mouth, singing, calling, I'm here, I'm here. I thought the dirt would give you something to take hold of. I've buried everything I've ever loved. Casketing. I've buried everything I've ever loved in the bone of reason. Now, even in dreams, you are dead. Sometimes I wheel your metal-colored coffin to the grocery store, once to a paperie, twice to Fiesta Bakery on Pleasanton. You are heavy. Once I was in high school in a play and parked you stage left. Always I shake you. Wake up, damn you. Sometimes the casket is open and I kick you, and when in my small shoes I make contact, your ribs crumble like the bark of an old mesquite. Wake up, wake up. We cannot run the numbers, argue, make your mother's bread if you are always going to be dead. This will be the last one. Untouchable. If you are always going to be dead, who then will melt away the breasts from my chest, need more my eyes than the unraveling of my hips? In your house, I was all bedrock and teeth, cutthroat, a stopped clock, just as much man as woman or rain. You were blind, and I loved you for it. In your house, my shoulders grew to fit the work. Patience blossomed upon my head, a crown. You were my mirror, my name, ready plum of my right hand, my ancient and rivered neck, my compass, my wing, my open gate, my warrior, my sleepless legion. As if I had been born male, my kingdom come. And one day in hot July, my kingdom gone. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori. Let's give it up for Lori one more time. Let's give it up for the band one more time. Let's give it up for Terry one more time. Let's give it up for me. Let's give it up for the chairs. Let's give it up for the librarians. Oh, okay. So David and Lori will going to be sticking around. They have their books for sale here, and also will be around for a few minutes to sign books. Take any questions if you're interested in poetry, if you're interested in how they got into poetry. They're going to be sticking around this area up yonder, right up here, right there by their books. So feel free to ask them any questions. They're here for you guys. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to hear some poetry and listen to some music and expand your mind. All right, thank you.
Yeah.